Metroid has always been about physical touch, violation of biological boundaries, and invasive contact. But Metroid Dread takes that to another level. It is not about the contact on skin, it is about the touch below skin. Metroid Dread is a surgery. Right from the beginning, Dread sets the tone pretty clearly. It starts with a description of both the Metroid who are deadly on contact and the X-parasites who infiltrate their host. We see Samus lying on an operating table where she gets vaccinated with Metroid DNA. While this introduction is a retelling of everything that happened in Metroid Fusion, it is also a foreshadowing of what is about to come. Tomophobia refers to an irrational and persistent fear of surgical procedures, often rooted in the fear of losing bodily autonomy or the unknown outcomes of anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
According to Schmidt, Wolf, Freudenmann and Schönfeld-Lecuona in their 2009 study about a then 69-year-old man who refused a medical intervention out of fear. As specific triggers of tomophobia, the study lists surgical instruments, operating room environments, and invasive procedures. This is pretty much a summary of every EMMI encounter throughout the entirety of Metroid Dread. The EMMI can be seen as a walking surgical instrument with a syringe head, uncanny movement, and sterile carapace.
Carapace.
The EMMI zones resemble an operating room, a laboratory, or, even more so, a morgue. They look sterile, clean, brightly lit and literally cold. When, not if, Samus gets caught, the invasive procedure begins. Without hesitation but with mechanical precision, the walking medical tool forces a long needle into her chest, bringing the gameplay to a horrifying end, almost painful to watch. But the surgery starts even before you set foot into the first EMMI zone. After arriving on ZDR and Samus' first encounter with Ravenbeak, she loses her consciousness and after waking up, slowly comes to realize that her suit, her body, her protection from this unknown and possibly hostile world has changed. Gone is the royal gold befitting her skills and legacy, turned into a cold, distant blue that almost looks clinical. In general, all her suits, besides you know which one, look like they were partially skinned, revealing exposed musculature and flayed anatomy, and therefore perfectly fill in the fear of unknown outcomes of anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
The EMMIs themselves are being guided by a brain laid bare, an allusion to Mother Brain, and with them we have some of the few scenarios in Dread where Samus is the one that is extracting something without consent, she herself becoming a violator of boundaries. Many of the other enemies also look like biological experiments, with their hand and feet amputated or gone, eyes removed and skin peeled back. Corpius especially comes to mind, who looks like its lower half has been removed, a long, somewhat mechanical tail attached and its skull was either skinned or forced into a body it does not belong to. With experiment Z57, we can even witness a surgical procedure ourselves, taking place in the background. This creature clearly shares at least a vague kinship with Corpius, as indicated by the head and overall posture. I feel like Metroid Dread is telling a far more sophisticated and fleshed out story through its environment and creatures than we currently talk about. Corpius, for example, almost resembles Samus herself. It has a red torso, blue shoulders, and a metallic extension of its body, just like the arm cannon. When the two meet in that hall of blood, they undoubtedly share a certain aesthetic. In their very thoughtful and well-written essay, Screw Attacks, Third Impacts and Other Interstellar Horrors, that is definitely worth your time and that I cannot recommend highly enough, Chris Lombardo writes about Metroid being about touch as a singular horror. Metroid is a horror series with contact at its heart. A work about the impossibility of touch manifested in a realm of parasites and ever-present harm, they argue, and underline their statement with the fact that Metroid games use contact damage to an almost excessive amount. The screw attack, often an upgrade very late in the game, then is the logical consequence of these worlds. It turns the usually taken damage into one that is given and makes a touch, a contact of skins, impossible. Metroid Dread, however, is not only about a harmful touch on your exterior, it is about the breaking of biological boundaries. It is about that knife that cuts your skin to open you up, to extract something from your body, or even worse, put something in that does not belong there. Metroid Dread is a surgery.